have been run. I am doing this video for my assignment purpose. In this video, I am going to run NetBSD and Ubuntu in VMware Workstation Pro as my client OS by using Windows 10 as host OS. The SSH client I am using Putty to obtain the IP address from NetBSD and Ubuntu client OS. Now I am going to turn on my VMware Workstation Pro. Here you can see the two OS client operating system that we already installed with NetBSD and Ubuntu. Now first I'm going to proceed with the NetBSD. Now I'm turning on the virtual machine. It's getting up. Now I'm going to log in with my user and the password. Now I am successfully logged in with my NetBSD. Now I wanted to look for my user. To look for my user, I need to enter this command. Who am I? It shows my user. Now I would like to look for my user location. For it, I enter command pwd. It shows my user location of NetBSD. Now I would like to obtain the IP address of NetBSD. Now I am going to type the command for obtain the IP address from NetBSD. Here the command. Here is the IP address of NetBSD 192.168.159.9.129. The IP that I obtained from the NetBSD, I wanted to connect with the Putty. Now I opening the Putty. Here I enter the IP address that I obtained from the NetBSD. The port 22 is representing the Putty. Now I wanted to open. Now I'm going to connect NetBSD with the Putty. It's asking for the login ID. Now I'm going to type my login ID and the password. It's successfully connected. The NetBSD connected with the Putty. Now I wanted to look for my user. Is it connected from the NetBSD or not? For look for my user, I going to type who am I. It shows my user. Now I would like to look for my user location. I am going to type pwd. It shows my user location. Now I would like to look for the IP address of NetBSD. Is it correctly connected with the Putty or not? For look for the IP address, I going to type /sbin/ifconfig. Yes, the IP address looks same as the in my NetBSD. Now we going to another client OS is OS. We are going to do the similar method to that OS operating system. Now let's get out the Ubuntu operating system. Now I turn on the Ubuntu operating system. The operating system is getting up. The Ubuntu operating system is up. Now I going to log in with my user password. Now I successfully log in to my desktop top of Ubuntu. Now I would like to right click at my desktop to open the terminal. In terminal, to verify my user, I going to type command who am I. It accurately shows my username. Now I would like to look for my user location. I going to type command pwd to shows my user location. It's showing my user location now. Now I would like to obtain the IP address of the Ubuntu. The command is ifconfig space slash dash a. Here shows the IP address of Ubuntu 192.168.159.128. Now the IP address are obtained from the Ubuntu. I'm going to connect with the Putty. I use the same IP address as that I obtained from the Ubuntu. One nine two dot 192.168.159.128, and the 22 is showing the Putty port. Then I click open. Now the Putty going to connect with the Ubuntu operating system. Now I going to log in with my user ID and password. Now it's successfully connected with the Putty. Ubuntu successfully connected with the Putty. Now I going to check whether is the correct Ubuntu that connected with the Putty or not. Now I going to type command who am I. It shows my user. Now I wanted to look for my user location. I going to enter the pwd to look for my user location. Here goes my user location. Now I wanted to check whether the IP address is correct that connected with the my Putty or not. The command is if config space -a. Yes, it's accurately same as in my Ubuntu. Now we going to host operating system to check all the IP address and the MAC address. Now I open my go to the host operating system and look for CMD and going to run the CMD as administrator. Run as administrator. Then click yes. Here I going to type IP config /alt. Here we can see all the IP address and the MAC address of the that connected with the OS or the host operating system. Here the window IP configuration. Here goes the to the for the VMware network adapters. Now we going to do we are going to transfer graphic files from host OS to client OS. To perform it, we have to have FileZilla. I open the FileZilla, and the first IP address I would like to perform with the NetBSD. The IP address is 192.168.159.129. The username is, and the password, and the port 22. It's representing the Putty. Now it's already connected with the client OS. That means NetBSD. On our right hand side, we can look for our host operating system, and on the right hand side we can look for our client operating system. Now I'm going to transfer file from my host operating system. Here is the file that I would like to transfer to the client operating system. Now I already transfer the file from host operating system to client operating system through FileZilla. Now let us check the is it the transfer already made it successfully or not. Now I going to Putty. In Putty I going to type ls space minus al. Yeah, it shows the file that I already transferred to the client OS. This is the file that I transfer from my host operating system to client operating system. It's transferred successfully. Now let us try with the Ubuntu operating system. Now I'm going to key in the Ubuntu operating system IP address. Now here I already entered my username, password, and the port 22 is representing the Putty. Same like before, on the left hand side we can see the host operating system. On the right hand side we can look for the client operating system. Now from here I'm going to transfer a JPEG file. Here the JPEG file that I would like to transfer to the client operating system. Here the file that I already transferred to the client operating system through the FileZilla. Now let us check do the transfer is successful or not through the Putty. Now same as before, we need to and need to enter command ls space dash al and press enter. Here is the file that I just now I transfer from my host operating system to Ubuntu operating system. Now I going to transfer the JPEG file from from Ubuntu to to Windows OS operating system to FileZilla. Before that, I would like to delete the file that the JPEG file from my Windows operating system. Done. Delete the file, the JPEG file that I going to transfer. Now we going to the FileZilla. Now we already in the Ubuntu operating system. Now I going to transfer the JPEG file from client operating system to the host operating system. Now I already transfer the file from Ubuntu OS to Windows OS. Now we look the transfer is successful or not. Here is the file that I transfer from Ubuntu to the Windows operating system. It's already here. Now we going to perform the same step from the NetBSD. Now before perform that, I wish to delete the file from my Windows operating system. Now I going to FileZilla that connected from NetBSD. Here the Windows operating system. Here the Windows operating system, and this is the NetBSD. Now I would like to transfer the file that the JPEG file I would like to transfer from NetBSD to the Windows operating system. Now I perform the transfer. The transfer successful. Now let's us see whether the transfer is successful or not. Yes, the file is here, the JPEG file that I transfer from NetBSD to Windows operating system. Now I'm ending my video, and thank you for watching my video.